Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Beth. Hi there.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Uh, not yesterday, the week before, Saturday. So at the beginning of this year, so right now we're in April 2026, and in the end of December 2025, I ended up spending 3 weeks in Texas with my mom. So from December to into January. And I was working remotely for my job the best I could. And so it's just, I was on go the whole time I was there for 3 weeks. Got back. Now, I have to get ready for or get caught up on not only the stuff I didn't get done for work, plus a huge event that was coming up, but also my home life. And in my personal business, there were many moving pieces that got put on hold while I was gone. And so I call it being on blast. I was on blast, like go, go, go from working, anywhere from 9 to 12 hours a day at my job to get caught up and get prepared for what was coming up, and then have to fit in the personal life and the business, all the things, right? And when we say personal life, it's not just personal life, it's making sure the bills are paid, the house is clean, the laundry's done, fitting in all the personal things, the grocery shopping, all of it. So it's just been a constant go since I got back. Well, really, since I left. And we got through at work, we got through the first of eight. Okay, this is like a multiple month event. So the first of eight, and got through that, got the taxes submitted and done and submitted. Um, just I had a huge in the organization the club that I'm a nonprofit organization. I'm currently the president of. We had a huge meeting, like so many, not this past week, the week before. There were so many things happening that were intense in that week, that when Saturday came, Saturday the 4th, April 4th, not only, well, our event for work was April 3rd that night. And then Saturday morning, getting up to go do some volunteering, community volunteering. Saturday afternoon, when I sat down at my house, it was like I took this huge exhale, and it was almost like a dissolving of intensity. Like it was just a complete release of, I don't even know how to explain it. If you've ever had that experience in your body, that you just like the intense relief of so many things being completed, or just getting past the heaviness of it, was like, okay, I feel I feel like I'm going to be okay now, type of thing, because it was just a constant go. And then in all of that, so that's like 3 months, 3.5 months of just being on blast. And what I did do, which was a huge lesson for me, and I've done it in the past too. So prior to me leaving to go be with my mom, I had a routine. I get up in the morning, I get ready for work, then I would sit and enjoy my coffee and read and then meditate and then finish up wrapping up things to go to work. Like I had this whole thing I did in the morning, and I stopped all of that because I was getting up like 4:30 in the morning, get ready for work, get to work by like 7, 6:30 sometimes, 7, work till 6, 7 o'clock at night. Like all that major routine I had in the morning to be centered, aligned, grounded, all the things stopped it. And I was getting very irritable and cranky, short, like nobody could do anything right for me. It was just kind of getting to that. I'll also, so lack of sleep, stress, not taking the time to nurture myself in the morning before going out and peopling all day. Um, and then having a shift in the hormonal medication that I'm taking. So with that whole package, it was it was a lot and it was uncomfortable and I knew it was uncomfortable, but it was like having to get past all of that stuff to be with that breath of fresh air, like release. Could I have changed things? Absolutely. I could have changed things. But sometimes in when we're faced with something, we handle it the best way we can in those moments. And my best way was I have to get these things done. Whatever it needs, whatever it needs. And maybe that's a Gen X mentality, and that's how we operate is you got to get it done, and you're going to do whatever you need to do to get it done at whatever cost, really. And the cost was my mental and emotional well-being. Did I show up for everything? Yes. Did I take care of everything? Yes. Did I get enough sleep? Not always, right? So it's like so anyway, it was a huge lesson. It was great awareness of when we take ourselves out, or when I'm going to speak for myself, when I took myself out of my normal routine and didn't do the things that were beneficial for me, I was the one that suffered. And because I was suffering, people around me were suffering too, because they were dealing with my attitude and my edginess and all the things. So I got that breath of fresh air. I went back right away, back into my morning routine, and what a huge difference. So completely like day and night. When I get to work, I'm calm. I'm handling things differently. Like it's just great, great awareness and to have that experience as a reminder because I know these things. I teach these things, I know these things. Um, Sometimes we need reminders, and that was it.
Yeah. Well, because we can get so wrapped up in everything else. And I feel like we get kind of messages like go do this, go do that, and it's like we kind of push it off to the back burner because it's like no, I've got to do this, this, and this right now. I don't have time for that. And we know if we take the time for that, then we feel better. My experience was I could feel this irritation. I was being caught in my head. I kept getting messages to go sit and write, show my pen, to go sit and write, to channel write. And I wasn't doing it, wasn't doing it. I don't know why putting it off. It's just so easy to do things because it's more productive. You can see the outcome of it. But because to be in those other spaces, not necessarily do you always, you know, you don't see it something to check off on your list because it's not something to check off. It's something that's part of our being. And so I think it was like Sunday of last week or Saturday of last week. I was out doing yard stuff and, working on the yard, and I was appreciating what I was doing and everything. And I came and sat and I kept getting the message to go get your pen and paper, sit down out here and write. So I did. And I felt so amazing afterwards. Like I felt so, I could feel this upliftment in my energy. I could feel this natural love flow. That some of these things that I don't think I was recognizing, but had to go through that process to recognize, this is what it feels like to be connected again. And it sounds similar to what you went through. It's just that relief of knowing that we're not here by ourselves. We don't have to do it all alone. It's just that comfort, that peace, that alignment. And the other is just letting us know that we're not in complete alignment with what we want, with what our desires are.
as you were talking, it was one thing I remembered was April 3rd was the event. Saturday afternoon, I took that breath and just like settled into my body and was such relief in me. And Monday was a whole different energy about me, what I walked into, and I was the first one to be there. And one of two other people, two my boss and another and a coworker, both said the same thing. Was I felt such a relief after we got through that event on Friday. And I said, yes. However, mine didn't come until Saturday afternoon after I got past the community service. Like one more thing I have to show up for before I can, you know, and that day, because it was so interesting, because we, like the three of us, had that relief in us and were more relaxed and more present, that we start coming like we didn't start coming up, but solutions were dropping into us for things that we have been questioning for the past couple months. We could not figure out solutions for certain tasks. And my coworker sat in my office and she started talking about some a solution for something, and within minutes we had the solution. Something we couldn't figure out prior to that. And there were some other things that happened that day that we were just all in awareness that, because we were so busy in our heads, busy doing that, we didn't have space, we didn't have the capacity to allow anything in, even those solutions. So that was it was such an amazing Monday. A lot of people dread Monday. They're like, it's Monday, I gotta go to work, whatever. It was such an amazing Monday in how we all connected and resolved things, and it was just so good because we took that breath, because we were like felt this huge weight lifted, and we just settled in and was present, and it was so good.
Nice. I love it.
And it's one thing when one person does it. Like I felt it Saturday afternoon. I felt it. It was just like, oh my gosh. But when you have two other people that you're working with do the exact same thing, it you just don't make those things up. Like you just there's no way you can make this up, that all three of you at one time. And then, if we want to expand that, the three of us are doing it. How is that affecting those people around us, and how many other people in the world had that same experience at in that time frame, really? So it was like the earth maybe took a breath too, like, and a lot of us felt it. I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up now, maybe not.
I would say maybe not, but that's just me. There's so much things that are going on all the time, all the time. And it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in this other stuff. And then part of me is like, do I punish myself by not allowing myself to go sit in, because it's something that makes me feel good. It's like, why would I put that off? Like, why wasn't I doing that all the time? And still, why is it not my natural routine? Because my routine is all the other stuff, or it has been all the other stuff, to the point where, because I've been traveling and doing some massages and I'll go to people's homes and stuff like that. I had seen someone just recently. I was working on the spouse, and the partner had said something along the lines, "Hey, usually you would start telling me all kinds of stuff when you would start working on me." And she says, "Do you have anything like for him or whatever?" And it's like, Oh yeah. I mean, I have all this stuff, but I was not tuning into it as much because I feel like I'm in other people's environments now instead of being in my environment. So that would be a natural space. And sometimes when I have a newer person, I may not say anything, but I've noticed lately that I'll keep myself busy or I'll just do the massage. There, I won't have a lot of conversation, because I'm not. And then I'm like going on to the next place, I'm on my routine or my schedule and not taking that time because that's another time that I connect with people. And it's like, I was like, oh yeah, and it's like all this stuff just can't comes out, and she's like, okay, and we get done and she's like, I've never told you this stuff, so it's like confirmation for me, but it's also recognizing the flow, that connection, how we feel when we're in that space. And we can do it all the time, but the thing is it's not my habit to do all the time, so it's a practice. Every time I start noticing anything, I I'm just in that space where I'm in my, if I catch myself thinking, I'm like, that's a thought. If I catch myself receiving a message, oh, receiving a message. Or if I catch myself like something shifted in my gears, not in a good way, and I'll look at it and be like, where did this, I'll just start asking questions from inside and becoming that neutral party of a just observer. It's changing the way I feel about everything. It's changing my practice. And so I am into more of a practice where I've talked about in the past, I automatically can feel my third eye and my crown. Like I can go there anytime I've worked on another person, what, because that person was psychic, empathic, which I think we all are, but she was tuned into it. She knew, I said, "Look, I'm right here right now," and she could feel me go into that space. And it's goes along with what you were saying. Everything that we're feeling, we're kind of putting out basically into the world. And it's really my responsibility, especially if I'm going and putting my hands on people and stuff, for me to be in that space, to be open. And I have a council of light. And so I talk to the council of light about everything. I ask about anything that I receive, like, is that true? Is it not true? I ask for guidance. I mean, it's like all this information is coming to me, and it can come to all of us all the time when we're tuned into it. But the thing is, we naturally don't tune into it all the time. I say naturally because we've been reprogrammed. And so now we're just reprogramming again. We're downloading new information. We're waking up, they say, right? Waking up, but we're just becoming more aware. We're witnessing, we're observing. Life is totally different. And I do have experiences kind of similar to what you were saying, but it's like when I recognize that I shift my gears inside and I feel that alignment, that connection, everything around me totally changes. I have things shown up for me in ways that blow my mind, not even planning on it. And it's been a lot in the last couple of weeks, really. And then I can recognize when I shut it off, like when I step out of alignment. And it's so silly. And then now that I'm saying this, I'm recognizing why, why do that? Because it feels so much better to be in alignment, regardless of whatever's going on in our lives.
Yeah. I was picturing in my head the trams that are connected to the wires above. It's got that little hook and it's connected. That's what I saw in my head when you were talking, and it was if that's disconnected, it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Tram doesn't work. So when we, and that's what it is, we create so much busyness that it's to the connection to spirit, God, angels, source. That connection is so there's so much smog. Let's say smog. Like you can't see, there's too much distraction to connect. And the connection is always there. We are the ones that are too busy or distracted to tune into or receive the information, the solutions, the guidance. And we have to clear the busyness, clear the cloudiness, clear the distractions to help that connection be stronger. The connection never leaves. That's my belief. It never leaves. It's always there. It's always there. Always there. We're the ones that squirrel out and um, don't take the time to tune in to ourselves first and foremost and allow that connection to be stronger or strong.
Yeah. We just stop the flow. Not even, I mean, like you said, it's always there, but we just kind of, we're not paying attention to that. And then my mind says, because we think we know what's best.
Yeah,
We know what's best in all those moments, and that's not even a true story.
right.
But that's the independence. That's being raised with being independent. You talked about Gen X. I feel like that's a lot of that. But we're finding our way to be back online, and I think at the divine time, everything was exactly like it was supposed to be. And it's pretty awesome that you had the experience of, recognizing there's not allowing a full connection or that full flow of the force to come in just by being. It's something so simple.
Yeah.
It's something so simple, but it's like something I say that because it's something so simple, but I don't always do it. I mean, I hadn't channel wrote for a long time. I hadn't written anything for a very long time. And the information that I was receiving, I was like, oh, okay. And using some words that I don't typically use. And it's like just helping me recognize that there's a connection. Synchronicities, whatever. You
Whatever.
guys, you're following me. Listening to readings I've been driving on the road, and it's like I hear this gal and she's like, you're at a fork in the road, and I look up, I'm at a fork in the road. Like how does it, like, it's so spot on. So she talks about a broken bridge. I'm driving across the bridge at that particular moment. It's not broken, obviously, well, not that I'm aware of. I made it across safely, but it's just interesting, all these things that kind of come up in our life that we kind of can dismiss, listening to something and then stopping it and then not listening to it till a little bit later, and it aligns perfectly with what you're doing, letting me know that we're always on the right path. Always. We're always learning. It's, you've said it a million times, and we'll always be learning until we decide we're done, and then we'll be on the other side,
Yeah.
in so many words.
Yeah, right, right.
But we're always learning and growing, always. And then it's, for me now, it's learning how to be in that space. How can I be in that space and feel that connection in everything that I do? And that's kind of what I'm doing. And then and manifesting is a lot easier too when you're observing things like that, because I'm not allowing my mind to go rampant and try to control or run the things the same way that I've ran it for the last 50 plus years. And it hasn't gotten me exactly what I want. It hasn't brought me to the things that I desire or would like to experience. And now it's starting to show up that way, because the
Yeah.
more that I settle into that, the more it just happens. It's not something that I have to orchestrate.
And it's so much easier and so much flow and so much more fun. Yeah, the amount of synchronicities that have happened since that I took that breath. I just every time, even though I know it happens all the time, it amazes me every time I recognize it or acknowledge it. It's a it's just exciting. I don't know what other word to use. It's just exciting when it happens and fun.
It is fun.
It's a lot of fun.
If you have someone sitting with you, be like, "Did you just see that? I mean,
Right.
did you hear that? What's?" And then you had that experience where you got to see that and hear that and feel
Yeah.
that with two other people.
Yeah. And I was talking to my coworker just the other day and I was telling her a story. I was telling her a story about because we were talking about not wanting to be here on the planet and that she just had a friend who decided not to be here on the planet. And so we were having that conversation and I was telling her my story 'cause she asked. And when there was twice almost back to back where I said something and on my cell phone, I have an Android, and on my cell phone it has Bixby instead of Siri, and I don't even use it. Seriously, I've not programmed it. I don't use it. And I had said something, and popped on and it had some words at the bottom. I forget what it said, but something like "you're correct" or something like that. And her and I were tripping on this. We're like, what in the world, right? And then not even a minute later, I said something else and my phone went bloop, like, yep, and it was just so fun. And so, yeah, those kinds of things happening.
Nice. Just giving you confirmations.
It was fun.
That sounds fun.
So, yeah, having a well-being, mental and emotional well-being practice is super important, I will say. And I will say from recent experience how important it is, just to take that time in the morning. And like I said, I read, I get grounded. Grounded to me is connecting to the earth and to what I call heavens above. Um, I will meditate, and in that meditation, I will either just practice breathing or maybe do some visualizations of how my day is going or what I want to manifest, bring to myself. Um, so do something, even if, journaling. I've been doing that a little bit as well, but doing something to just really get centered within your body, your package, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual inventory. At least know how you are feeling or how your being is before going out to people. And I people a lot every single day. And that's important for me to have that inventory so I know what energy am I bringing out into the world when I step out of my house. And even so, even though I'm in my house, I'm still um, putting that energy out. But then when I go out and I'm amongst other people, now they're picking up on that energy. So it's important for me to have that awareness of how I'm doing. So, do you have anything else to add to that before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I was going to say, asking yourself what will make me feel better in this moment. Really, it's asking those kind of things. And I sit outside. One of my favorite things is sit outside in the morning when the sunlight's, up, and I'll take off my shoes or my slippers and sit my feet in the dirt and drink my cocoa in the morning. So it's just finding little things like that. It's whatever works for each person. That's why I say, what's going to make me feel better in this moment? What's going to make me feel happier in this moment? And sometimes it's just that taking that breath. So it's just like you said, it's just being in an awareness,
Yeah,
how we're feeling, and then asking how can I feel better right now? And then it's going to be interesting to see because each person's going to have different things and then share those different things with us or with your friends because it helps give other people ideas and permission sometimes
right,
to take the time to do those things too.
right. Yep. All right, friends. If any part of this conversation resonated with you, be sure to implement what it is that you have a few minutes, could be just a few minutes or an hour, whatever your time frame allots, but implement something to help you get set yourself up for an amazing day. And the day is going to be what you make of it. So if you feel like the information in this video is or this podcast has resonated with you, be resourceful and share it on your platforms, as there are other people out there who are seeking guidance on these things that we talk about. And whether it's us or any other spiritual teacher or influencer, share what it is you are hearing and understanding and implementing and utilizing. You can find us on many platforms. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spreaker, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and YouTube. So there's many ways to find us. So you can leave us comments or questions in the box, and we will come back to them as soon as we can in our fulfilling lives.
That's right.
All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea time with Amy and Bev, and we will see you soon.
Bye.